Secretary of Treasury Yellen is right now on an official visit to China. She started the visit in Guangzhou, which is actually very reasonable. Why? Because Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Hong Kong and Macau and all the other cities in the Pearl River Delta region is fast becoming one of the most important Bay Areas in the world. It is truly becoming a highlight of technology advance and breakthrough, not only for China as a whole, but for the whole world. So I would say this is a visit to Guangzhou is a visit of pragmatism and realism, and try to enable Secretary Yellen to better understand the business environment in China as a whole. Now, she talked a lot about overcapacity, not only for EV, but also for other things related to EV and the solar panels, for example. I would tend to disagree with her description of overcapacity or this labeling put by the US government on electric vehicle. Why? Because electric vehicle or the EV business is a sunrise business. It is just starting, not only in China, but throughout the world. And if there is any competition for EV production, it is not between China and the United States and Japan and Germany, these very important traditional fuel car countries. If there is any competition, the competition is between the EV industry versus the traditional fuel industry. And this competition is inevitable because mankind really need to mitigate against the effect of the climate change. And the United States has been very much dominant for the traditional fuel car for more than 100 years. But this doesn't give any excuse for the United States to refuse to make this leap of faith from fuel car to the EV car. Therefore, this is not time to come up with an accusation of overcapacity. No, EV car is not reaching an overcapacity. EV car business is just starting. And the sooner the United States start to embrace this new revolution, the better. And I personally hope China and the United States will really share a lot of technologies and ways of doing things and share the advantages of the two of the largest automobile markets in the world to promote the EV car revolution. Labeling the current situation as overcapacity is not only not true, it's not reflecting the realities on the ground, it's also a disguise for trade protectionism. We all noticed that Secretary Yellen talked a lot about China and the United States not going to decouple from each other, and this not only reflects her own view, but also the view of President Joe Biden of the United States. I would say, personally, I really do not need to hear anyone talking about decoupling or no need to decouple. Why? Because decoupling between China and the United States and between China and the West is impossible. It is impossible to do that. Talking about decoupling China and the United States and China and the West, it's just like talking about decoupling the Earth from the moon. It is not possible. It is impossible for you to achieve that. And if you are really getting successful, greater disasters will happen. Of course, it is very welcome to see that President Biden and President Xi Jinping recently made a phone call to each other. And Secretary Yellen is right now in China. And Secretary of State Blinken will soon come to China for another meeting. And military-to-military exchanges through the working group level are taking place in Hawaii. Now, all these seem to constitute a pattern that both China and the United States want to do their own homework and want to reach out to the other side to prevent any derailing of the situation and the deterioration of the bilateral relations.